Hi, my name is Shannon Linton, and this is Make Like a Mother. I'm a singer-songwriter, writer and community builder, a climate activist and music educator. And you guessed it, I'm a mom. I have recently become obsessed with how mothering shapes me as an artist, and this podcast is born of my desire to talk to other women in the same position. In this mini episode, I'm going to introduce myself to you and give you a bit of a taste of what's to come on Make Like a Mother. So, I live on my family farm outside of Toronto, Ontario, with my husband and 2 kids, a 16-year-old boy and 14-year-old girl. They're the best, objectively. Motherhood is influencing every second of every day for me right now. It turns out having teenagers is as all-encompassing as having toddlers in its own way. Nobody told me that. Did anybody tell you that? Nobody tells you that. Anyway, I spend more time with my kids than I do with any other people. And I spend more time with my kids than I do working or creating or doing any other activity. And I love it. This focus on motherhood has seeped into all parts of my artistry, though. I discovered, for example, that I have an album worth of songs about motherhood ready to be recorded. My entire creative plans revolve around my family's schedule. And as my babies have become teenagers, suddenly they're the ones leading me on this path called life. No longer the other way around. It's kind of weird. Anyway, so motherhood is on my mind most of the time. It makes sense that it would take center stage in my creative projects. In addition to motherhood, my other fascination is the artists around me. These 2 obsessions of mine merged in an aha moment when I decided to start this podcast. I live in a small town literally full of artists of every stripe, and with the podcast, I get to interview the artists I know and love who are also mothers. Together, we can dive deep into what it is to be a mom and an artist, which sounds pretty sweet to me. This is a podcast about mothers who are through the maternity leave stage into the era where they're able to be active creators even as they parent. Some of the guests are grandmothers even, an extra layer of caretaking and complexity, joy and struggle I'm excited to hear about. Also, this isn't a podcast about being a mom per se. It's about being an artist as a mother. I hope that distinction makes sense. I'll be focusing on the art and the artist and how motherhood weaves around and through that identity. So, get cozy and join me for these conversations with artist mothers I deeply admire and love. Actually, and here's your first behind-the-scenes moment about me. I had to move this setup about 10 times to find a good place to film so that the video of the podcast looks decent. And in addition, I'm in my mom and dad's basement because my internet at home is so terrible. And I'm all sweaty from moving around the tables and chairs and ring lights and whatever. So this took a lot of effort and it was very glamorous, you should all know. And if that level of glamour makes you desperate to know more about me, you can find my music and writing at shannonlintonmusic.com. It's all glamour all the time. Thank you for being here. I hope you'll stick around with me for these conversations.